awkwardly transitioned now into college football,
which is about an awkward individual.
Yeah, the most awkward individual, Jim Harbaugh. We actually have breaking news this evening, as he and the University of Michigan have reached a contract extension. You saw some of the details. I just saw the headline.
I got a Athletic alert that said he has been extended until 2026.
Wow.
After
okay,
he took his rejection from the NFL as a whole. And we can examine that momentarily, and walk back to his team and said, "Why don't I just stay here?"
Came back with his tail between his legs.
Yep,
cheating dog he is. He had his little dalliance with the NFL, and specifically the Minnesota Vikings, who happen to be the only one of 9 NFL teams that had coaching openings, head coach openings. The only one to offer him an interview, and didn't even give him an offer. So while we kept hearing Jim Harbaugh's name out there as a prospective coaching candidate for multiple positions, it really was only one, and it never even came to an offer. So that interest was all from Jim Harbaugh. It was not from the NFL, as you said.
Yeah, probably Jim's agent putting those stories out there to try to create something.
Well, this is what's interesting. He doesn't even have an agent. He is his own agent. He has a lawyer, but he has no.
Oh, that's
agent.
right. He has a lawyer. That's what it is. Okay.
Well,
yeah.
So was it Jim Harbaugh himself putting those things out there? I don't know.
I mean, why not?
I don't understand how any of these things work, how the mind of Jim Harbaugh works, how Michigan fans could be so desperate as to let him treat you like this. You're like the cuckolds whose wife cheated on them and bring him back with open arms. Everyone is ecstatic to see Jim Harbaugh coming back as he tried to parlay his 1 year of success, finally getting some success at the University of Michigan. Tried to parlay that immediately into an NFL job, and was summarily rejected by the one suitor he possibly had. So it's an embarrassing situation.
I mean, essentially he got rejected though by every NFL team.
Yeah, exactly.
In the fact that he didn't even qualify to interview with 8 of the 9 teams. Yeah. I mean, that is what he's thought of at this point in the NFL.
Well, and the one team he did have a chance with, they had apparently a phone interview at one point, or maybe it was a Zoom call. And that's what led to the actual interview in Minnesota during a snowstorm, which it also happened to be National Signing Day, that same exact day where he was on his way to Minnesota for what turned out to be a 9-hour interview.
Wow.
And where it's come out pretty much that it's obvious that he believed it was ceremonial at all. Like he basically thought he had the job and was just coming to shake everyone's hands. And that was not the case at all, where he was grilled with a 9-hour interview, which I've never heard of for any kind of position.
Right.
But he was not prepared, it sounds like. And the Vikings were not impressed by him. That's why he does not have the job. He had a chance to impress them, and he did not do it.
Not surprised.
Yeah. So he comes crawling back to Michigan. Yeah, basically with the quote, "I'm sorry, baby, it'll never happen again." I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Refresh my memory, and because I can't remember it now. What was that erroneous tweet that tried to make it sound like he didn't interview all day because he heard some song and headed back to Michigan?
Yeah, he probably basically said, I chose. They couldn't fire me because I quit, is kind of the analogy. Like he was trying to make it sound like he didn't really want to go. And it's obvious that he did. And they rejected him, but he was trying to say that it was him who decided he needed to come back to Michigan. It was just very transparent that it was total bullshit.
I mean, he's a fucking idiot. I think Michigan Michigan really played over what their real, skill set was this year. I think they played above it, and then you saw it come to fruition once they hit the college playoff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it. I don't I think we're going to have a lot of fun this upcoming college football season, making fun of him and after they lose to like fucking Illinois or something too, or like next year or so.
Well, there is plenty of fallout and collateral damage from this dalliance as he's lost his defensive coordinator to the NFL, which is kind of understandable. A defensive coordinator going from college into the pros is a vertical move. Where he also lost Josh Gaddis, his offensive coordinator, but not to a vertical move. It was a horizontal move to maybe even less, lateral move to Miami Hurricanes as their offensive coordinator. And it came out essentially that I believe, and this is all speculation, we're not really sure how this played out, but he believed he should have been the heir apparent to Jim Harbaugh, all signs pointed to him being gone. And in the time that Harbaugh was diddling around, Gaddis decided to get the fuck out of Dodge and was just realized he had no future there. So it's kind of an embarrassing thing when you lose he happened to be offensive coordinator of the year in college football. And he makes a less than lateral move to the University of Miami.
That is true. Yeah.
So, a lot of people gave Josh Gaddis credit for where Michigan was last year with their offense. He was the offensive coordinator. That's one of the big things that changed last year. So we'll see where they end up. I think you're right. I think we're going to be laughing. One thing that's a little bit laughable, and I would only bring up because this is an irresponsible podcast that hates the University of Michigan football, but Josh Gaddis was also rumored not to have gotten the job or would never be getting the head coaching job at Michigan because there's a rumor out there that he actually fucked the mother of one of their recruits or a recruit. I'm not sure if it's a Michigan recruit or whatever, but there's a substantial rumor out there that I am not just making up. You can find it if you want to, but apparently maybe Josh Gaddis overstepped his bounds in the recruiting trail.
Wow.
There's also a possibility that Michigan put that out there to discourage his candidacy for the head coaching position. I don't know.
It's not surprising then, based on that story, which this allegedly happened, but that he did a lateral move to the Miami Hurricanes of all teams, because that seems to fit right in down in Miami.
Wow.
So,
oh boy. Well, it's just some interesting, embarrassing pieces of news for your Michigan Wolverines. We will
Michigan against everyone. Michigan versus everyone.
The dumbest shirt I've ever seen. We've ranted about that on the podcast before.
I know. I just saw it again for some reason. God. It came up in a feed, and I'm like, why are people wearing these shirts?
The privileged blue bloods acting like downtrodden proletariat. I don't get it.
Word Hole Media.